Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So we finally got Spider-Man confirmed for Infinity War, so I'll explain that, but I wanted to do a list for the characters that we did know about. So this is going to be top 50. There are a lot of characters. New round of the Spider-Man giveaway starts now too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. I announce winners at the end. Be sure to click that bell to enable alerts so that you don't miss anything. So the big news is that Tom Holland confirmed that he was going to be in Infinity War. He'd been left off the list that everybody had been posting, so there was a question like, hey, maybe they won't include him, but I don't think any of us believe that. I mean, you gotta put Spider-Man in Infinity War. So top 50 characters that are gonna be in Infinity War. I tried to group some of these together, starting with the really big ones that are brand new, and then the supporting characters, the classic roster. So number 50, starting the list off, Spider-Man. Tom Holland said, this is part of the interview that he gave, it's they who convinced Marvel, talking about Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, to be sure that I was the right person before you entrust 3 films over the next 4 years, including Avengers Infinity War. So that's a bit of a broken sentence, but it's a translation of the Italian interview where he basically says that Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans really went to bat for him because Spider-Man was going to be so important for the next 3 movies. The 3 films that he's referring to are Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Avengers Infinity War. But we know that he's actually signed on for more Spider-Man sequels since then, but he's just talking about those 3 films in this interview. Next on the list, Doctor Strange. We all know that he is now the de facto magic user that they'll go to for help. He knows a little about the Infinity Gems, he is very well read, so he's already helping Thor with his Ragnarok problem. So he's seen Dormammu, he's been to other dimensions, he wields one of the Infinity Gems. He's going to be super important to the Avengers. Then there's Wong, who comes hand in hand with Doctor Strange. Next one is Baron Mordo, not really a main character of Infinity War, but so big that you have to touch base with him. Characters that you'll see in the film that they'll touch on that will be big Easter eggs, but might not necessarily be on screen as much as the classic Avengers, the bigger actors. So next one is Captain Marvel. Big introduction. This is supposed to be her introduction Spider-Man style, although a lot of her backstory is going to be left for the Captain Marvel solo film. Then there's the Winter Soldier. He is in a deep freeze right now, so we'll have to thaw him out because he's every bit as capable as Captain America. When Thanos comes calling, you need as much help as possible. Nick Fury is back, and if you're wondering why he hasn't been in the last couple Marvel films, it's mostly because of contractual disputes with Samuel Jackson. He's a very expensive person. They chose to spend their money hiring other actors to do other characters they felt were more important to the story. Next one is Loki, just like Doctor Strange, also has a lot of information on Thanos that he can help everyone with. Definitely has to come to terms with the idea that he double-crossed Thanos, and he's going to have to try and survive that. Man of the Hour is Thanos. If you haven't read the Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Quest storyline from the comics, it's basically him assembling the gems, forming the gauntlet, and then erasing half of all life in the universe. In the Avengers, all the heroes trying to fix that. So he's probably the most important character in that movie. So numbers 41 through 36 is basically his forces, the Black Order, the Chitauri that are left over, and any other space army that he brings to bear. So he does have a lot of followers. We met one before. The other was a member of the Black Order that was killed by Ronan back during the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. So we'll probably find out who is helping him because he won't be all by himself. Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones was actually just announced as I was making this list, so I got to include him just in time. Rob Liefeld was like the first person to say he's Pip, who's an important figure with Adam Warlock in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, but I don't actually think that Peter Dinklage will play Pip. He's just supposed to be an important character in both of the next Avengers sequels. Speaking of the Guardians, pretty much every main Guardian character is coming, including Star-Lord, who hasn't returned to Earth in a long time, so it'll be the first time that he's actually interacted with other humans in a long time. Gamora and Nebula, daughters of Thanos, family reunion. Rocket, Groot, who may or may not still be Baby Groot. It depends on how big he grows by the end of the Guardians film, but for most of that film, he's supposed to stay that same size. And then, of course, Drax, but we haven't heard anything about Mantis, new big character in Guardians 2, showing up, so I'm not expecting her in the film. But then here we get to, like, the supporting characters we haven't seen in a while. So Pepper Potts, we'll touch on with her. She won't be a big part of the film, but she is currently running Stark Tech for Tony while he runs the Avengers, or tries to run the Avengers. Jane Foster. Betty Ross is supposed to come back. There's a rumor that Liv Tyler will come back, even though they've recast the Hulk since the last time she played that character. Then there's Thunderbolt Ross, who's the defense secretary, very important government figure. Sharon Carter, who is very close to Captain America's character now. Coulson is finally rumored to be coming back. Ghost Rider is a really cool character that's supposed to have at least a brief appearance. He's too cool for you to leave out, and he's just as powerful as the Hulk, if not more powerful. It was actually Doctor Strange who theorized during World War Hulk that Ghost Rider was one of the few entities that was around and available that could take down World Breaker Hulk. Maria Hill, also rumored to appear. Aunt May is a little more certain, just coming hand in hand with Peter Parker. Hank Pym because of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Speaking of which, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man is a very important Avenger already. The Wasp is going to be a very important character, but she's not going to have a relatively big appearance till the second Avengers film in the Ant-Man and the Wasp solo movie, but she will have a presence during Infinity War, even though Evangeline Lilly, the actress, has said that she won't be wearing the Wasp costume until the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. The other new main characters, of course, Black Panther, very important. Everett Ross, which is a Black Panther character, we'll see him again during the Black Panther movie. Vision and Scarlet Witch, who also kind of come hand in hand now. War Machine, who is slowly recovering from his accident. Valkyrie, who's another Thor character that we haven't met yet, but she's really important. There will be a couple of characters from each of the Avengers films to make guest appearances. Valkyrie is just like the new biggest character that we're going to meet. Then the classic roster, Captain America, who still doesn't have the shield, but I think we all expect him to pick the shield back up during Infinity War just because the threat is so great. The Hulk, post-Ragnarok, who will have gone through almost an entire film in Hulk form, so Banner will be much more in tune with the big green guy. They'll have a much more straightforward agreement between the two of them. Reborn Thor, baptized by fire. Now, it won't be like Rune King Thor, but he will be more actualized, more powerful, more assured of himself, much more prepared to become king after Odin. A much less cynical version of Iron Man, thanks to Peter Parker's influence. I feel like his excitement is going to be infectious. He will help Iron Man loosen up before Infinity War. We have Hawkeye and Black Widow, and then rounding out the top 5 is the Defenders characters. They've said a lot about them not being in the film the way people expected, so don't be surprised if they're like really big Easter eggs and they're not getting a lot of screen time. But Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and The Punisher. The list of 50 is really just preliminary. They said there's going to be 66 plus characters, so we can amend this later on when we confirm other people, but a lot of those extra characters are really just background people whose names that you'll see on list won't actually have like functional lines or dialogue in the movie. So when they say 66 plus characters are in the film, really, there's going to be a fraction of that you'll see on screen at any given time. So don't worry, it's just when they say there's a lot of characters in a film, it sounds like it's going to be a mess. It will not be a mess, don't worry. But if there's any Spider-Man or Infinity War videos that you guys want me to do, just let me know in the comments, or for the other Marvel films. I'll say congratulations to this week's Spider-Man giveaway winner, Joshua Cifuentes. You won a $20 Comixology gift card. Be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. There was a new round that started in this video. They just announced a whole bunch of Star Wars Episode 8 plot teasers, so I'll be doing a video for that next. There's a whole bunch of awesome stuff happening this week. A whole bunch of stuff is coming back really soon. It's going to be great. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., learn about the Doctor Strange, Darkhold stuff that they've been doing, and you can click here to learn about why everyone's freaking out about Batman and Justice League. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.